Hey, good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. We are here, Hobby Evolution, episode 1173. Good Saturday morning. Welcome to the weekend. I am nice little sleeping. I got my hands dirty again yesterday. Got my hands dirty, was working out in the yard. It's like the third day I've worked in the yard this week. So my body's like, what are you doing? What's this physical exertion? You're not sitting in a chair in front of a computer monitor. What's going on? So, welcome to the weekend. Anybody going to a card show today? I am card show free this weekend, but I will be set up. Let's get that banner rolling. Next weekend, I think it's all the way at the bottom. Next weekend, I will be at Premier Card Show's Indoor Sports Center next Saturday, May 11th, Loves Park, Illinois, which is right next to Rockford. I'll have all new bargain boxes, dollar boxes, quarter boxes. So come out to Loves Park next Saturday and see me. Next Madison Card Show, Saturday, May 25th. That's Memorial Day weekend, which coincides with Bratfest. Bratfest going on Friday through Sunday, right across the street, which is John Nolan Drive, right across John Nolan Drive from the Sheraton Hotel. Bratfest, eat brat, drink beer, listen to live music from the Village People. I think only one original member. Who else? I think Boba Flex, I think, is playing Friday night. One of my dealers, Ray, is in a band. They're in a 90s cover band called the Foo Foo Dolls. They're playing on Friday evening. So that's Bratfest weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and Madison Card Show weekend, all packed into one. Saturday, May 25th, Madison Card Show will have, again, 175 dealer tables, 3 ballrooms. I will not be set up at the May Madison Card Show, not setting up this month. It was setting up, and I probably talked about this in the card show review. Last month it was kind of like there was open tables, so it was just set them up, but it's extra work. I had to take 2 trips there, 2 trips back, because it takes a full, I packed 20 tables into the back of my SUV, and that I don't have room for cards, and then I have to go back for the cards or go back for the tables, whatever order I go. And I didn't make that much. So in fact, the tables if I would have sold out last month's show, I would have made more selling the tables than selling the cards being set up. So not worth it. But I didn't sell out because there were various other shows going on. But we will be sold out this month. And so come out to the Madison Card Show Saturday, May 25th. The June date is June 22nd. And then I hope to have the July, August, September dates locked up this coming week. They only allow me to book 3 months at a time, and they only let me book like 6 weeks out for those months. So hopefully, and the summer months are their busiest in terms of other events going on. They do a lot of weddings and stuff. So fingers crossed, get our dates here this week. Here, let's get to Christian's while we're at it. Christian says, would the hotel store the tables for you if you let them use them when you are not? Probably. Here's the maybe. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind the storage part. It's the carry, which I guess is the problem would be there's many problems. They're not very organized when it comes to stuff like this. Like somebody left behind like a tripod with a sign, and I'm like, hey, last month somebody left this, and they're like, no, I didn't see it in the lost and found. I'm like, well, what if somebody leaves it behind? Well, it depends what it is. Otherwise, we just like throw it away. I'm like, throw it away. So I'm like, okay. So I have to be a little more diligent walking the rooms to make sure there's nothing left behind, or it might get thrown away. So they could. I don't know if I trust. I don't know if I trust them to store them all. The thing is, and the trade-off would be, yes, like, hey, you can store these tables and use them. Here lies in the problem. I'm the only event that uses all of their tables, so they don't need any more tables. Although it would be not, because the banquet manager, great guy, we were talking last month, and he said we really need to get the tables that I bring in. They're the same size. They're 6 foot, but they are plastic. They're light. They fold in half. The tables the Sheraton has are wood, and they've probably had them since the 70s. They're heavy. They're wood. They don't fold in half. So maybe they would be like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, we'll use these instead of those old damn wood tables. It's to in another, like, after a while, like, once I get, my money back from buying these tables, maybe it's something like, okay, if I lose one or two, but yeah, that's an option. I haven't talked to him about it. I initially, I never thought I would get to the point where I would need extra tables and have to go out and buy 20 of my own and still have a waiting list. But that was one thing that I thought of, like, well, if I buy my own tables, maybe they'll store them. So we'll see. Right now, I don't mind. It is kind of a pain in the ass to haul them. But it's not terrible. Not terrible. They're easy setup. That's another thing. It's like, well, would they charge me more? Will they charge me? Just build it into the annual raise in fees that I get every year. So, all right, let's, Robert's got, we'll keep on the card show topic, and then we'll get into some more of the chats. Robert says, I'm trying to set up a card show in Northeast Arkansas. Of course, I have no idea how it will turn out. That's everybody who's doing a card show for the first time. That's everybody. A little scary, but I really think it could do good. I've been thinking about posting to a local Facebook page to get reaction. Would that be a good idea, or just go for it? Just do it. Just absolutely do it. Here's the problem with posting, would you be interested? You'll get a lot of people that say, yeah, that would be awesome. I'll be there. And you'll get 100 people. We're just going to use random numbers. 100 people. And they're going to be gung-ho. I'll set up. I'll be there. Yeah, that's awesome. And then when it comes to you doing it, most of those people will be like, oh, I can't make it. I've got a hair appointment. We've got kid baseball, whatever it might be. You're going to have gung-ho people. So just do it and just do it. And I think Max has a follow-up question. Are you active in the card show scene of your area? That's important. There may not be a card show scene in your area. But yeah, that's another thing. If there are other card shows, to have a successful card show, and you can have a successful, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a 200 table, 100 table, 50 table card show. You can have a good card show with 20 tables. And it just depends on what's your goal, what's your idea. But if there are other card shows in your area, go out, set up at other card shows, meet other dealers. Is there a need? That's another thing. If there's already a card show in your community or nearby, is there a need for it? If there's not a need, probably not going to have good things. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts that go into it. Do you have a venue yet? Because that's the hardest part of running a card show isn't getting dealers and vendors. It can be difficult when you're starting up, but the most difficult thing is finding a feasible venue to do the show? And then do you have to rent tables? Do they provide tables? All of the little intricacies of running a card show. Robert says, I do set up in local towns for the past few months. So just, you got to build relationships. Tentatively looking at the 27th of July. I have a card show in May and one in June. I thought I could set out flyers. So here's an issue with July 27th is the national. However, very few amount of people will be going to the national that would be going to local card shows. So I don't think, whereas I would not run the Madison card show on July 27th because a lot of my dealers and a lot of people that come in to buy at my show will be in Cleveland on July 27th. But if you're in Arkansas and you're just starting a show, I could do a Madison card show on July 27th. There would still be a good crowd. There wouldn't be 175 dealer tables. It would probably not be as busy as it certainly would not be as busy as it normally would be. But you could still have a decent, small local card show during the national. So I don't think that shouldn't hinder you, but it's always something to keep in the back of your mind. You have a card show in May, one in June, that I could set out flyers. Absolutely. Here's the thing though, when you're setting out flyers, only do it if you're a dealer. Like if you're setting up as a dealer, that's cool. It's not kosher to go infiltrate another card show and pass out flyers. Unless you talk to the promoter. That's another, talk to promoters because that really helps. I've got at the bottom of the screen, the premier card shows at the bottom. Mike and John started their card shows right around the same time I started my card show. None of us had ever promoted a card show. Now I think we have decent card shows and we work together. I think back in the 90s, there were a lot of curmudgeon promoters that were like, fuck that guy, fuck that promoter. And that's just, what's the honey, sugar, whatever you get more, you attract the bees with vinegar, or honey, not vinegar, I don't know whatever that saying is. Be nice because you can reciprocate. Tony, Oak Creek card shows going on today, sets up at my show on a pretty regular basis. And he talks up my show at his shows. And I get a lot of, dealers that want to get into my show because Tony talked about it or Mike and John talked about it and vice versa. So get in with other promoters in your area. Make sure you're not stepping on toes. Sometimes it happens. If you start doing it on a regular basis, sometimes it happens. If you're just doing spot shows, it's pretty easy to avoid. July, these dates in July won't work, so I'll just do an August show. But if you're doing it on a regular basis, you can run into those issues. Robert says community center 520 plus refundable 250. That's cheap. That's really cheap. Center provides 40 tables. There you go. So just do the math. What do you need to charge to break even? You probably won't sell out 40 tables for your first show, but you might. I don't know. So my advice is just go for it. Get a date set. I'm gassy today. Where's Dan? I'm doing a lot of burping today. It's because I take a drink and then I talk. So I just say go for it. Do it. You've got a good venue, a cheap venue with tables provided. That's a hell of a deal. I wish my rent was that. So do it. Set a date and start talking to people. Hey, we're going to do this show. You got to do the math on tables. I don't know. Do other shows have admission? I wish I could charge an admission just to get a good idea on foot traffic through the doors, but it's just not feasible in my venue. I have 3 different ballrooms, multiple entrances. It's just doesn't work. Do $1 admission. That way you can just track your number of people coming in and recoup a little bit if you don't sell out your tables. Where are we at? let's just go to the top of the chat and we'll get back to card shows. I'm going to talk about what I did Friday, which was not card related yesterday. Dave's in the house. What's going on? George is here. What's happening? Porter's in the house. Good morning. Barry, good morning. Herman's in the house. What's happening? Good Saturday morning. Welcome to the weekend. Christian, good morning. Raphael in the house. Rain in the nation's capital, he says. We've got beautiful sunny skies. I was driving around yesterday running some errands, and the radio, they were doing a forecast, and they're like, you are not going to want to sit inside at home this weekend. It's going to be beautiful, sunny skies, temps in the 70s. And I'm like, oh, don't tempt me. I got a lot of shipping to do, though. Today's going to be, I treated myself on Friday and left the basement, but today's going to be a basement day. I have a feeling, at least half the day, just to get some shipping out, get ahead of the curve. Tom, East Coast Tom's in the house. Good morning. Kevin's here. What's happening? JW, good morning. Valley Cards and Collectibles, first episode I've actually seen live. I feel less creepy now. Don't feel creepy. George says, y'all always speaking of card shows. George doesn't get any card shows. You should start a card show, George. Please provide a description of a card show. What are they? They don't exist in these nether regions. You know, the funny thing, when I talk to people that are not in the hobby, that don't collect baseball cards, that barely know baseball cards are still being printed, when I tell them, yeah, I run a card show, and they're like, oh, so when people that are not in the hobby, when you say card show, they're like, a car show? Like, no, card with a D. They're like, oh, cards. And they're like, so do people just come and show them off? Oh, yeah, some people do. They have price tags, but basically they're just a museum. And it's funny, people not in cards are like a card show. Like a card show, you sell cards. It's not really a show. It's a sale. It's a card sale. Why don't we call it a card sale? Where's Uncle Rich? He would know the answer to this. Why do we call them card shows when we're not really showing off the cards? We're selling the cards. You go to a car show. So my dad was a gearhead. I grew up at Farm and Fleet, Menards, and car shows and local taverns. That's how that was my childhood. The Corner Tap Tavern. I got to play shuffleboard and pool. Car shows, Menards, Farm and Fleet. That was my childhood. No wonder I don't want anything to do with cars and building things. Give me the Corner Tap though. I'll play some pool and drink some beers. But yeah, car shows, you take your car, you're not selling. I mean, I guess some people, it's kind of a car show is basically the absolute opposite of a card show. You go to a car show to show off your car, but some people bring their cars to try to sell, but it's very small population doing that. At a card show, you're bringing your cards to sell, but there's a small contingent that just bring cards to show off. Card shows and card shows. So people not in the hobby, they're like, so what, a card show? So what do? Do you just, people take their cards to show off? And I'm like, well, not really. It's basically a sale. It's a garage sale. Selling our cards. George says, for those who are curious, I live in Kim Jong-un's taint. Tom says, ever see Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? Imagine that, but with cards. Yes. Christian says, would the hotel store the tables for you? Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Billy Joe says, good morning. Good morning to you. Duke's in the house. Good morning. Robert says, so I'm trying to set, we just talked about that. There you go. We talked about those. Talking Tatis in the house. Good morning. Kendall is here. Good morning. He's heading to his first card show. Very cool. Edmonton. What are the chances it's not 99% hockey? It might be 90% hockey. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Robert says, I do set up in local towns for the past few months. JW, waiting for a few blasters of 2024 Bowman to arrive. Oh, shit, man. Where did you buy? Where did you order them from? So I got my shipping notification from Topps on my hobby boxes that I ordered. I got the shipping notification on Thursday, and they still haven't been picked up by FedEx. I'm checking the tracking like every day. This is the only time I check tracking on like pre-orders. And so I was hoping I was hoping, since I got that shipping notification Thursday night, I was hoping that they would be picked up Friday, and then I would have them Monday or Tuesday at the latest. Now it's like, shit, I probably won't get them till Wednesday. They're shipping out of Texas. Maybe I'll order some blasters off Fanatics. Did you order from Fanatics? Because I think they have blasters on Fanatics, but so far I'm just keeping to my 3 hobby boxes. I really want to order a bunch of blasters, but I don't know. Blasters are money. Again, I said it the other day, do as I say, not as I do, because I bought hobby boxes, and that's a gamble. If you're looking to rip and flip, if you're chasing autos, buy hobby. If you're chasing like color and like hits, buy hobby. If you're chasing a good rip and flip, make sure you get it on release week and buy blasters. I did not do that. Good morning, Jody. Robert says tentative. Oh, we talked about that. Max says, I guess my question is, are you hoping random people contact you to set up, or is there something you can do to gain clientele from a 2-hour radius around you? And that's a good point, because you're going to need dealers. So I would say, and I think when we started promoting the Madison Card Show, and I mean, the Madison Card Show, and I've talked about this several times, the very first show, April of 2021, was 17 tables. And I think I had 2. My co-promoter at the time had 2. So we had like 13 non-promoter tables. Now it was a little different back then, because we still had mask rules. We had social distancing rules. We had to have masks and hand sanitizer, like in various spots. We could only have like 200 people in the room at the time, which was no problem for that show. So we were up against the wall against some of that stuff. But we didn't really know what we were we'd never promoted a card show before. So, and I didn't really know. I wasn't watching YouTube videos on card shows, promoters, and I didn't know any card show promoters. So I just winged it. So yeah. And I think we started like kind of semi-promoting a month or 2 in advance of our first show. I think we started promoting it in March. And it was middle to end of April. So, now that I do it, I can like share what I did, share advice to what, grew it, Facebook ads. And, I think there's room in your budget based on your rental, to put a couple $100 to plan your budget. Are you looking to make $1,000? Are you looking to just break even and have a card show to build it? I guess those are things that only you can answer right now. But definitely promote, and you can start out, if you don't have an advertising budget, you can start off by go to Reddit, go to your local Reddit cities. That's something that I just kind of discovered as I was perusing Reddit. Now I got into Reddit a few months ago. It's like, hey, this is be a good spot. And I actually have got some traffic from people. I saw this on Reddit. I'm like, oh, sweet. Facebook groups, if there's local card groups in your area. Beckett calendar, Sports Collectors Digest calendar, various card show calendars. So there's a lot of ways to get the word out. Your own Facebook page, Twitter, all that good stuff. George says, in life, you sometimes have to pull out the axe and blaze your own path. There you go. I think that's good advice from George. Donald, good morning. JW says eBay mobile apps AI has been acting stupid the past day or so. Anyone else having an issue? On the descriptions, that's the only AI I use. Did I list anything yesterday from my phone? I don't think so. I have not had any experience, but I don't think in the last 24 hours. I did list. What's today? Today's Saturday. Thursday, I did some listing. I didn't have any issues, but I didn't list anything yesterday. Florida baseball card dude, what's up? Good morning. Porter says to Robert, there's a promotion out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri that pulls a lot of dealers from northern Arkansas. Their shows are very mismanaged. I'm sure the Arkansas dealers would be glad to work with you. There you go. Porter says, when is Bellinger rumored to be back? I need to drop Torkelson ASAP. I think they were saying it's going to be sooner than expected, but I don't think there's a timeline for Bellinger's return. George is making a quesadilla, so I can't answer your questions at the moment. Robert says, my mother asked me if selling cards was legal. JW says, Walmart. Oh, you got them from really? Typing in walmart.com. Bowman. $29.99. Shipping arrives May 8th. What's May 8th? Today's the 4th. Oh, it's stupid Star Wars Day, isn't it? Sunday the 5th, 6th, 7th. So it arrives Wednesday, but it might come sooner. How many can you order at a time? Ooh, you can add a whole bunch. Let's see. Continue to check out. Can I skip this? Enter your email and we'll check. Oh, I just want to check out as a guest. Oh, I've got to enter my password. Let's see. That's an incorrect one. Shit. Love me some Bowman. That's also incorrect. Last chance. This is the only one I can think of. Not correct either. Can I just sign? Is it choose a sign-in method? How about text to verification? I got all these freaking password pop-ups coming. They sent me verification. Okay. Does it just sign me in? Oh, it does. Sweet. Ooh. Got to add a new address. It's been a while since I've ordered off of walmart.com. New address loaded. Don't mind me, just ordering some Bowman. We want to set this as my preferred. All right. Can I do PayPal? Because PayPal is easy. I can. PayPal. Place my order. Oh, wow. And it didn't even take me to PayPal. Cool. All right. Thank you, JW. I just ordered 10 blasters of Bowman. We'll see what gets to my house first. So I got 3 hobbies and 10 blasters now coming. Dave says, just to give you a heads up, I moved to an Anchor store. Ooh, interesting. Dave, keep us posted. Before I talk, let's just read Dave's comment. Just to give you a heads up, I moved to an Anchor store and I love it. I know it's more money, but eBay helps with all the eBay idiots that I love, that love throwing bad feedback. Interesting. So can you elaborate on what else do you love besides feedback? Because I can just deal with shitty feedback. And I know sometimes it doesn't get removed, but I don't know if I want to fork over the extra money. Right now, I'm getting, I'm at 53,000, I think, active listings. So I'm getting close to that threshold. But once you get to that Anchor store level, you're not really, when you buy a premium, when you subscribe to a premium store, it's more about the listings, the amount of free insertion listings you get. But going from a premium store to an anchor store, it's less about listings and it's more about customer service because you're paying more per listing. So you don't want to just spend $60 a month to $300 a month and throw in $1.50 cards, at least in my opinion. So I'm curious what else, because I think that's kind of the main draw for having an anchor store is that customer service from eBay. Like you get a direct. So I've heard that it's not as good as it once was. So I guess what is your thoughts on the customer service you are provided by having an anchor store, and what else do you like about it? Now, I would definitely prefer doing an anchor store as opposed to opening a second store, because it sounds like a disaster having two eBay stores. With the same stuff. If you have two eBay stores and like one is like clothes or thrifting, like you go to Goodwill and thrift and that's separate, and then you have a card store, like that's different. But having a card store with two stores and they're all $1.50 cards or $5, like low end, you just want more listings, that's just a disaster. Let's see. Jody ordered blasters from Steel City yesterday. They were $30, ordered them 2 days ago. Bell Ringer cards, getting a case of Bowman blasters from my LCS. Nice. JW says, I'm surprised I haven't seen any YouTubers opening any up yet. Going to start listing as soon as I rip them. Hell yeah. So last year for Bowman, I received them on Saturday before release date, just like you are going to receive yours. So it sounds like this may be the earliest that we see Bowman in the wild. And I made a killing. My profits on 2024 Bowman, I only ordered 10 blasters last year. And I can't remember. It was insane. I mean, first chromes were selling for $20. Matt Mervis first chrome was selling for $15. Now it's a quarter card, which a lot of them are. So if you can get those release day sales, man, makes a huge difference. So yeah, and I'm jealous. JW says, yeah, on the description, that's the only thing I use AI. Okay. I have not listed anything on the mobile app since Thursday, so I haven't experienced any issues. Bitcoin. Max says, is Torque not playing well? I heard on a YouTuber's video last night he was killing it, and they were selling a ton of Torque. But seemed he said that about every pickup he made. Let's look up. I can assure you that Spencer Torkelson cards are not rolling out of my eBay store. Let's see. Spencer Torkelson is hitting a robust 212 with 0 home runs, slashing 212, 282, 288. 29 strikeouts, 11 walks. He does have 9 doubles. So Spencer Torkelson not exactly lighting things up. George says, quesadilla cooked. Answer to question, why are card shows called card shows? Because they were started in a time museum curators who wanted to show their Johnsons, Walter, rather than sell them. And some of them are still those same dealers. Here's actually a good question from Low Roller Scratcher. He asks, why do you put a bunch of auctions in your store again? So, and I think, did I mention this at the start of the show? So I listed, or maybe I put it in the description. This was by design. And it's not for experience. It's not for playing with the algorithm. It's just to move product. I've had the WWF magazine cards in my eBay store for probably 2 years now. And it's become probably stale inventory. And if it hasn't sold in 2 years, some I have listed for $5, $6, $8, $10. Apparently the market's not there for it. I have received a $4 offer on one of the cards. I'm just going to take it. It's like, yeah, I'll take that $4. It might have been $2.50 as a buy it now. And somebody just offered me $4 on a 99-cent auction. I'll take it. So I switched all 152 of my WWF magazine cards to auctions. No rhyme or reason. I did do, however, for the first time, 10-day auctions starting on a Friday night because I hate Friday night auctions, 7-day. So I was down here last night and I've been thinking about doing, just listing these at auction for the last couple days. I had found the old wrestling magazines, looked in my store. They were not posted in my store. When I typed in WWF magazine or wrestling magazine, all these cards came up and it's like, you know what? I just need to get rid of these. Actually, I don't think the magazine cards have been in my store for 2 years. Some of them might have been because I think there's two. I bought a big lot of them several months ago. And then some of them are from the magazines that I bought at a garage sale in Milwaukee a couple of years ago. So I think it's a mix. But even so, I've made decent money from both of those purchases on these cards. And so if some sell at 99 cents, I'm okay with it. And I think some will go for more. So that's why I did it. And it's just to dump stale inventory. So that's why those auctions are up. And I did 10-day auctions. It's Friday night. And I'm like, well, I don't want to run a Friday night auction 7 days. And I'm like, I'll run a 10-day auction because then it ends on a Monday night. I like Monday night endings. I like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, even Thursday night endings. I don't like Sunday night as much because there's so many, because everybody ends their auctions on Sunday nights. There's a lot of competition. Sure, there's eyes on it because it's like, oh, it's Sunday night. I bet there's a lot of good stuff, but you've got to filter through a bunch of BS. So I like Monday through Thursday auctions. I don't like Fridays or Saturdays and then Sundays for the competition. I don't like Sundays for the competition. So they end a week from Monday, 9 days. Porter says, since there's no worthwhile shows in my area, I'm going to have to travel a few hours to seek out inventory. Any advice on finding the right destination show? I'd say just find the larger shows that are within a few hours. With that said, there may not be good inventory to show. I go to a lot of shows and don't find inventory. Shows have become the best place for me to find inventory, but not every show has inventory. You may travel 3 hours to a card show and it might suck. And in those cases, you've got to really, because I have the mindset sometimes. If I travel 3 hours, I have to buy something. I have that mindset. I don't have to. I shouldn't just buy to buy. You've got to buy smart. And so sometimes if I would have to travel 3 hours to a show, I would feel obligated to buy where it may not have been a good deal. So keep that in the back of your mind as well. Facebook Marketplace, you're probably not going to find much, but just there's so many places to source inventory. Card shows, even if you have to travel a few hours, but just know that not every card show you're going to find good inventory. And you may only be able to cherry pick and find, a dozen cards or 100 cards. And was it worth an entire day in a lot of travel? Facebook Marketplace. I haven't checked Craigslist. I don't think there's much going on in Craigslist. Local auctions sometimes. There's a local auction that I get these through my Facebook feed. There's one in Beloit that's absolute garbage. But then there's some that pop up. It's like, oh shit, there's some good stuff in here. Some of those local auctions, I feel like sometimes there's people like shilling because it's like, why is a 91 Fleer box going for $50? And it's like, I'm gonna dump off all my junk wax to this local auction house if they can get this type of money for this crap, because I can't on eBay or anywhere else. So there's so many places to source inventory. Facebook groups, just not from McClown. Facebook groups, blowout forums. You've got to constantly be looking. And I'm at the point where I'm turning a lot of inventory down, but in many cases I'm turning inventory down because sometimes I get such great deals, and then the next one that comes along, it's like I I paid $1,200 for this lot that, is way better, and somebody wants $1,000 for a bunch of quarter cards. It's like, eh. So always be looking. Always be ABL. Always be looking. Card shows is personally for me, but I know some people source entirely online, eBay, ComC, Facebook, Twitter. So you just gotta keep on keeping on. Just keep looking, and you'll start finding some deals. Put an ad, not an ad, but go to your local Facebook buy sell trade groups and put wanted buying baseball cards, and you're gonna get 9 out of 10 of your responses are going to be from people wanting to sell you their 91 Fleer, but you could get some really good leads by doing that. Just get your name out there. Like, hey, Porter's buying. Go to Porter. Mr. Archer, good morning. George says, it may sound crazy, and I will never own one, but I do like the Bob Gibson first Bowman. Gimmick? Yeah, but cool to me. What I really like, they only did 2 retrofractors this year. One of Pete Rose, which I found really, really intriguing. And then the other is Bob Gibson. What I really like about this, and I loved the idea when it came out, and then when it was put into practice last year, it's like, this fell short of my expectations. Because they didn't use like young pictures of the players. However, they did with Pete Rose and Bob Gibson this year. Like they actually used younger. Are they in the minor leagues in those photos? I don't know, but they're definitely on the younger end in those photos, which is what I like. It's like, I don't want 1970 photo of Bob Gibson on a quote first Bowman retrofractor. So I like the idea. Surprised there's only 2 on the checklist this year. Dave says they give you all the help you need with no wait, like 2 minutes wait. I also get $150 a quarter in supplies. Customer service. So $150 a quarter in supply. I thought it was only $100. So, okay. So you do get because I'm like, if you open a second store, which again, I'm not going to do, but if you open a second store, you would get another $50. So you'd get $100 a quarter in supplies. So $150, it's like, well, why don't people just do 2 stores? There you go. Little more in supplies. Customer service top notch. I have 67,000 listings, so no choice, but it's well worth it. All right. Christian says torque is the definition of struggling. Let's see. Max says he's playing like dog shit. No dongs in 30 games. And wasn't he supposed to be a home run hitter? Wasn't he supposed to be like a 30 home run hitter? Torque leads the league in silo home runs, all pop-ups. Let's see. Max says, Porter, why the hell do you need Belly to come back to drop Torque? Yeah, just find somebody else. Drop Torque and pick somebody off the waiver wire, because you could probably find somebody off the waiver wire that's better than Torque and still keep Belly on the DL. I still call it the DL. I don't like IL. DL just rolls off the tongue better. DL. Okay, about to get in the Scribby. What's a Scribby? Is that like a tub? Are you taking a bath? Porter says, I don't need Belly back, but he's the best free agent option in my league currently. Just do it now. Well, can you just, here's what I would, and I don't know how your league is set up, but in my league, what I could do is I would drop Torque. I would pick up Belly off the waiver wire, put him on the injured list. Maybe you don't have the injured list, and then you can sign somebody. So drop Torque, pick up Belly, sign a first baseman who's worth a shit. There you go. Morning, Paul. What's going on? Low Roller says, I have some football. I have some auctions for football as well. I think I have 17. I think I have over 200 auctions going right now. 150 are wrestling cards and maybe another 50 are football cards. Bowman U, again, stale inventory. After the NFL draft, I'm like, I think I've got a bunch of Bowman U that have been sitting. I've got a James Cook, Georgia Bulldogs Chrome Auto. It's up to $1,250. Josh Downs, North Carolina Tar Heels Auto, $250. I fucked that one up. I had that one listed for $50. I thought he was going to have a breakout season. I was getting offers for I think my highest offer, I had a guy who would send me offers every week and then send me message this is a $20 card. I'm giving you 27. It's the best you're going to get. And he was right. And I was wrong. And I held out for 35. I think I wouldn't budge off 35 or 40. And I don't think 20, maybe he was at 20 or 25, but we were considerably off. I felt it was going to be worth more than his offer. He thought it was worth a lot less than what I was willing to sell it for. So we'll see. And it's probably going to sell for less than what his offer was at what, say it was 20. It's at 250. How many days? I can't remember when these auctions at. I guess I could look. I've got a Chimere DK, Wisconsin Badgers Gold Shimmer Refractor, non-auto. It's up to 225. I've got a Kennedy Brooks Oklahoma Sooners Lava Auto. It's only at $1.67. I've got a First Bowman Gold Chrome Hank Bachmeier, 99 cents. Romeo Dobbs, he's with the Packers. Where's my Packer fans at? Aqua Refractor, numbered out of 299. It's only at 99 cents. I've got a Graham Mertz Pink Refractor. There's a blue Chrome Refractor, Kennedy Brooks. It's only at 99 cents. DJ Ukulele, a yellow Chrome of 75. It's only at 99 cents. A DJ Ukulele Gold Shimmer Refractor, numbered out of 50. It's only at 99 cents. So there's some good Bowman U football auctions in my eBay store right now. So go check those out. Max says the best inventory is to buy is the one that never hits a table at a show. Absolutely. 100%. People walking the show, networking with other dealers, buying a dealer out before the show starts. Absolutely. That's why I love getting to the show early and I can start going through those boxes, cherry picking. As a seller, I'm not going to discount big on my boxes before a show because I know what I'm going to make approximately from a show. So I don't want to, give it away, but I may lose, a bigger sale. I don't have a lot of bulk buyers. It's hard for me. Sometimes I beg people to buy my bulk, and I've gone as cheap as $30 for a 4-row box. And people are like, no. I'm like, what? And it's and then I get home, it's I'm glad I didn't sell these for $30 a box because there's a lot of value in these still. Paul says sourcing on eBay is by far where I've gotten my best buys so far. ComC really good too. Consignment is huge, says Paul. Lofi Joe, good morning. Going to a vintage toy show tomorrow. Got my best card deal of 2023 at the same show in flipping terms. Hoping history repeats itself. Good luck. Antique and toy shows, real hit or miss in terms of cards. Mostly way overpriced, but deals can be there. It seems like, and I don't have much experience in this, but every once in a while, when I do, my mom's a big antiquer, goes to antique shops and stuff. And so I'll go and I enjoy just looking at random stuff. But it seems like a lot of the stuff is pretty overpriced. But when you find a good deal, it's a great deal. It's either really overpriced or a really good deal. Duke says that James Cook natty champ to you. Go Dogs. Duke, Georgia Bulldogs. There you go. Get in on the bidding. So I did something yesterday that I've been talking about for almost 2 years. So when I went full time, I work 7 days a week. I ship, I list 7 days a week. It's cards. And so I've got a good sounding board in terms of somebody that left corporate America, went into business for themselves. My buddy Scott's a financial advisor, went off on his own 5 or 6 years ago now. And I remember when he first went into business for himself, he was checked out of life. He was only focused, concentrated on work. And once he established that it took a couple years. Now he's willing to go places and do things. And so he talks to me all the time and he's been through this and he's like, so are you still working 7 days a week? And I'm like, absolutely. I have to. I don't have to, but I feel like I have to. And, I talked to him early, maybe a year into doing this. I said, I think I'm when I don't have like something going on a weekend, I'm going to take the Friday off and go on a bike ride. I think this is right after I got my e-bike, and which, by the way, I can't find the battery key to my e-bike. So I don't know where Zach is. He's going to make fun of me for not riding my bike. I was looking around for it the other day in the garage, and I have 2 keys, and I can't find either of them. So anyway, that was what I was going to do on Fridays. I was going to go for rides. Never did it. Not once. Last year, pretty busy last year. I went on one bike ride. It was from the old house to the new house and back. That's the only bike ride I went on last year. A lot of shit going on with this house. Now the house is done, but we got a big yard. By the way, my wife fired me from lawn mowing. We're gonna have our lawn mowed for us. So we got the quote from the company, and I'm running the numbers, and I'm like, you know what? I could certainly buy a used riding lawnmower for the price that they're charging for a year. And I could almost buy a brand new one, not like a really good John Deere one, but like a Murray, which I didn't know they still made. My dad had a Murray. He bought it in like 1977 and used it until like 2003, and then got a John Deere rider and gave the Murray to my brother, and my brother used it I think my brother used it at his cabin on the river, and used it for another like 5 years. But I don't think they probably don't make them like they used to. That's what everybody says. Anyway, so I'm like, but on the other hand, it's basically like an all or nothing proposal. Like, we can't just get fit. Like, okay, the grass is too tall. We're in Europe for 2 weeks. We got to have somebody mow. Like, we got to have a spot mow. And then, okay, it rained a whole bunch, and my push mower isn't going to get through this. And I guess that's the reason for a rider. But, what if I'm gone? All this. So I relented. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And they'll do, like, their proposal had some other stuff like fall and spring cleanup, mulch, some other stuff. I still do my gardening. So yesterday I at 11:30, I had my window open here in this room. I think I was doing some listing, and beautiful day. And I'm like, you know what? It's a beautiful Friday. I don't have anything going on this weekend, so I can take the rest of the day off and do like what I had planned to do 2 years ago. Take Fridays off. So I did. 11:30, took Biscuit for a walk. We got home, gave her lunch, ate lunch myself. I'm going to run some errands. Had to run to the bank, do a deposit, go to the post office, and then I went to Menards. So I did need string for my weed eater. So went to Menards, and I wanted to get more bird feeders. So I picked up 2 bird feeders. Check the birds. I got, and I was looking at bird feed. I didn't want just cracked corn. I think it's just the blackbirds or grackles or whatever they're called. Sometimes robins and some other birds get it. But so I got some, like a mix. It has like mealworms and like peanuts and like just a whole bunch of stuff. It's supposed to attract like cardinals and red-tailed blackbirds or whatever they are, and some other stuff. So I got that, and then I got a finch sock, and it was pretty cool. It's like the finches just go up and they on that. So I put those up. But Menards doesn't carry Ryobi. Oh, and then I also got dirt. I got some topsoil because I had to fill in the side and plant some more grass seed on the side of the house. So I got some dirt. And Menards doesn't carry Ryobi, which is what my weed eater is. And this is like like every time I run out of string for the weed eater, I go to Menards, and remember, they don't carry Ryobi. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to go to Home Depot. So I come home, spread the dirt, and plant some seed, run the sprinklers, get it all wet, put the bird feeders up in the backyard, and just kind of hung out and just watched the birds. And they like come immediately. It's kind of cool. So I was watching the birds and it's like, I should probably go get that weed eater string. So then I went to Home Depot. I weeded my vegetable garden the other night. It's still too early here in Wisconsin to plant most vegetables because we'll probably have some freezes yet. I usually wait until, for my tomatoes and cucumbers, I wait until the week after Mother's Day, which is 2 weeks from this weekend. So I went to Home Depot, and the garden section was bustling, and we're running up on 10 o'clock. So I'm going to try to wrap this up so we can watch Hobby Hotline. So I go to the garden section, and there's people buying stuff, and I'm like, you know what? So I Googled like what can sustain in Wisconsin, like in early mid-spring. And so I bought celery, which I know is kind of a cooler weather veggie, lettuce, romaine lettuce. So I got 2 heads of romaine lettuce, like 6 celery plants, and 4 peas. They're not sugar snap, but they're just regular peas. So we'll see how those turn out. So I got those planted yesterday. I had to turn the spigot on. So I got the hose set up, watered the vegetable garden. I found my weed eater string at Home Depot. What else? I think that's all I bought at Home Depot. So got my hands dirty again. Oh, and I did some weeding around my vegetable garden. So and then maybe next week I'm going to be out of town. I'll be at the Premier Card Shows next Saturday, Loves Park, Illinois Indoor Sports Center. Come see me there next Saturday. And then Sunday, and then I'm going to go straight from there to Anawan to visit Mom for Mother's Day. And then probably that week I'll get my tomato and cucumber plants to get them planted. Porter says Gay for Jay has dropped Torkelson and added Nathaniel Lowe. Is it Lau or Lowe? Oh crap, says George. Am I going to make a hobby hotline? I'm usually asleep. Well, it starts in 1 minute and I'm wrapping things up. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I think it's on. Rich confirmed to us yesterday it would be on. Last week it was supposed to be on and it wasn't on. So maybe it's going to be on today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. We'll flash that real quickly, 99centcards.com. Link is also in the description. Make sure to check out my auctions. I've got over 200 auctions, some ending, I think, this weekend. I can't remember when I started those football auctions, but there's some really good Bowman U Chrome refractors and autos that have some really low bids right now. So make sure to hit my eBay store up, 99centcards.com. Link in the description, and get yourself some good deals. There's, I think, over 50, maybe close to 75 football Bowman U auctions, and then over 150 wrestling cards at auction as well. 99centcards.com. So check those out. I had some Ricky Henderson cards last night and some Bowman paper prospects last night, just kind of to get some cards in the inventory yesterday. So I didn't completely take the rest of the day off. I did come down after dinner and listed some cards last night. So that's what I had for today. Like, subscribe. We will go live again tomorrow morning, probably the same time, about 9 a.m. Central Time. And of course, we'll be on every day next week, Monday through Friday. So have a great weekend. Have a great day. Enjoy card shows or the weather, whatever you're doing this weekend. And check out Hobby Hotline, which is starting now. See ya tomorrow morning.